He gave me beer, you know. Okay. Well, guys, welcome to Copper Tail. We've actually only been open since August of this year. We opened very recently, but this whole process has been about a 2-year project for us. We've been in the works for this for a long time. Kent Bailey, our owner here. Kent Bailey, our owner and founder, was actually a very successful business lawyer for a long time. And he was a home brewer, and he got kind of tired of being a business lawyer and wanted to change, you know, his career into his passion. But he knew from the very beginning that as a home brewer, his recipes wouldn't work on a scale like this. His recipes aren't going to go above and beyond what he needed it to. So his big thing was he would do this if he could find a brewer. Well, that's what he found, Casey Hughes. Casey Hughes was working at a Flying Fish at the time, but Casey Hughes has been brewing professionally since he was 17 years old. He actually started working for QS Brewing Company at age 17, became a brewer, and he brewed for them for a long time. He got his first head brewer's position at Flying Fish in New Jersey. While working there, the biggest problem for him was he didn't have creative control. Like, as the head brewmaster, they were like, great, you're a brewer. These are the beers we brew. These are the beers you're going to brew. You can do some kind of special stuff, but you're going to brew these beers for us. So that's it. That's game and match. And so when Ken found him, Ken was like, dude, I don't know what to do back there. You figure this shit out. You make it happen. And so that was awesome for him because it was creative control. It was, Casey, this is your brewery. This is your brew house. You make this happen. You make the beers because you're the ones that can make the recipe. You're the one who's going to make this all happen. So when he first moved down, we actually set up a tiny little homebrew system where that bed is. The bed has a good story too. That's the first one. I gotta hear this. Well, I'll get to the bed. But he had a tiny little homebrew system right there, which was about a half barrel system. Barrel of beer is 31 gallons. So it was about a 15-gallon system, and he actually filled every single one of these barrels, which are about 55 gallons, from that tiny little homebrew system. It took him a long time. But he got it done, and the big idea was to have barrel-aged beers as soon as we opened. We opened our tasting room, we had a bourbon barrel-aged oyster stout on tap, and we had a barrel-aged saison on tap, sour saison. They went pretty quickly, unfortunately, but he's still working on some more, kind of always changing it up. And then this room is kind of going to be used for that. Whatever we eventually need in the future, right now we're using it as storage for bottles, boxes, 6-packs, but eventually I do know that he wants to do some sort of barrel aging, like consistent barrel aging program. And having a space like this will help us a lot when that kind of comes to it. The bed. Let me just kind of touch on that real quick. So there's this really cool thing here in Ybor called the Ybor City Bed Races. There's a bunch of different bars and groups that get together, like the fire department did it this year. And you have to build a bed, and then you have to get a team together, and all this team just has to run the bed down 7. You just race as fast as you can.
The wheels.
What's up? Yep.
That's the wheel.
That's the wheel. So, our assistant brewer, very, very helpful person, Derek, he happens to be a carpenter. So if you look right here, this is a little like setup. Actually, that big bar that you guys were over in the tasting room, he built that. A couple of the tables in the tasting room, he built. He's very helpful to have around. That bed, him and the brewer built in about 2 hours. It took longer to do all the artwork on the bed than it took them to build the bed. We got second place. We lost to Tampa Brew Co. We're convinced they had ringers because they're like before the last race, we're laying down on the bed like dead. Like Derek's next to me, like, dude, I shouldn't have taken that last shot. I can barely breathe. Then you look over at the Tampa Brew Co. guys, and they're like stretching. They all have 6-packs. They're ripped and they're stretching. You know, getting ready. Their bed was broken. They had like a flat tire, and they just lifted it, and just jogged across the finish line. We're heavily like struggling. It was a whole thing. But it's alright because afterwards we all got to party. Filled their giant 3-liter trophy with unholy triple, so that was interesting to watch her bring it down. Alright guys, let's keep moving this way. Well, like I said, when he started here, it was a very small homebrew system. All these test freezers are on temperature control for that. So they were, whenever he brewed beer, he would throw it in here to turn it. It was a very small scale.
We call them mini barrels.
These two things are foamers, fooders. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I think it's tomato type of thing. But the cool thing about it, original French foamers, these are actually no longer made. You can't have them made, they're never going to be made the same. These things were made for wine for a long time. And they're usually used in the brewing process for souring beers because what it does It helps contain all your bacteria, all the kind of crazy stuff you have to add to make a beer sour. It helps contain it away from your brew house. All that bacteria, if you start using it with your other beer, it just affects everything. So then we'd make a batch of free dive that would have some sort of bread in it or something that would destroy everything. We'd have to throw out the batch. So that's what these things are good for. It helps keep everything away from our actual brew. The coolest thing about these is because they have wine in them for so long, we can make beer, we can put it in this one, make the exact same beer, put it in that one, and they're going to taste completely different because of the original wine in it. So then these are really cool things. The brewery right now that has the most amount of them in the U.S. is New Belgium Brewing Company, and they have, I think, about 25. So they're definitely working on it. And then if you guys look right there, that's our confessional. Because if you see a confessional for sale, you buy it. Our owner, we show her salvage art for a lot of our decorations. And she one day just kind of brought that. She's like, yeah, this is professional. You guys want it? And our owner was like, absolutely. Okay, right now. Money is like, hell yes. So let's take out of our actual tasting room at one point. Luckily, we made a beer named Unholy, so someone fit the theme. But that thing was here way before that beer was even thought. So that's always fun. There is a gray path in the brew house. Stay on that gray path. Do not go on the red, please. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just we want to keep everybody kind of away from all the crazy stuff going on. So just stay on the gray path. I'm not tripping at all. You guys, this is our brew house. We are starting with a 50 barrel German rye system. We're starting a lot bigger than most people, and that was actually advice we got from local brewers. Early owners, Joey Redder was one of the biggest ones. And they all said the same thing. Go big. Go as big as you possibly can. If you have the capital for it, if you have the money to throw it on it, go for it. Because as long as the beer is good, you're going to need space, you're going to grow, and you're going to need everything, every little space you have. So go as big as you possibly can. Because you'll be there eventually, so why not start where you need to go? We say all over, you know, it's all over the place. Hip hop that goes on, there's 80s, like pop. Oh yeah, the beer is a fun story. Bottles rather than cans. A lot of people ask that, but it's just in case you learn to last with beer can. And I'd rather have this product in bottles, and for us, you know, if our brewmaster wants it in bottles, we're not going to argue about his product, you know, throw it in a bottle. Kent, our owner, has a big thing too. He's not crazy on cans. His big mentality is if everybody wanted to drink out of cans, they'd have aluminum glassware in their house. Nobody does. They have glass. And me personally, I could carry less. I'm going to pour it into a glass. So that's how I see it. This little guy is our hop cannon, Hop 2D2. This is actually really cool. This is made for us, and what this is for dry hopping or treating different beers. What we can do is we fill this whole thing with hop, and we attach it to the side of the tank here, like you did attached right now. And what it does is it shoots hop straight to the tank, so that it will touch all of the beer. It'll be able to dry hop the whole thing without it ever exposing it. Mine does. Beers where enemies like oxygen. We always try to avoid that as much as possible. This is just kind of a cool way to do it. Somebody just get excited. You guys keep coming down. I love that. That's all you if you want to go. Oh, there you go. Here we go. So we're going to have a screen to make sure everything actually works.
also, because you said